So let's break down this incredible story. It's all about integrity, about patience, and the long, slow, grinding fight for justice. It's about a promise, a quiet vow made when everything seemed lost, and the entire decade it took to make it right.
This right here, this is the moral compass for the entire story. It comes from a man named Haji Karim, and for him, this wasn't just some nice-sounding phrase, it was everything. It's the simple, powerful principle he built his whole life around.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a small town with a respected old man and his grandson who absolutely adores him. This is a place where your worth wasn't about how much money you had, but about your character. I mean, think about it. For 40 years, Haji Karim wasn't just some shopkeeper. He was a pillar of his community, you know? Haji Saab, they called him. His reputation for being a straight shooter, well, that was his most valuable asset. And for his young grandson, Ayan, that little shop wasn't just a business. It was a classroom. It's where he learned about honor, truth, and just the quiet dignity of a life lived the right way. And those lessons, they were about to shape his entire future. But you know, a peaceful world built on principle, it's often fragile. A shadow was about to fall over their small town, a powerful and ruthless force that cared about one thing and one thing only.
And that shadow has a name, Malik Safar. This guy's ambition was to own the whole market, and Haji Karim's little shop, this symbol of honor, was standing right in his way. This was never going to be a simple negotiation.
And this slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got honor, truth, 40 years of hard work. And on the other, pure greed, control, and market domination. It's like oil and water. This isn't just about a shop. It's a clash between two completely different ways of seeing the world. So when Haji Karim, being the man he is, refuses to sell, well, Malik Zafar doesn't make a counteroffer. Nope, he issues a threat. A cold, direct threat. The line had officially been drawn in the sand. And look, that wasn't an empty threat. It became very real, very fast, and it was an act that didn't just crush a good man's spirit, it lit a fire, a quiet promise that would smolder for a whole decade.
Zafar made good on his threat. He didn't use brute force. He used something way more sinister, lies. He twisted the system, cooked up some false accusations, and got an honest man's life's work sealed shut.
And this is what's really heartbreaking. The very same community that respected Haji Saab for 40 years, they just abandoned him. For young Ayan, seeing his proud grandfather so broken, so alone, that was it. That was the turning point of his life. That night, seeing his hero's silent pain, Ayan makes a solemn vow. It wasn't some loud declaration of war. It was a quiet, deeply personal promise that would become the mission for the next 10 years of his life.
But making a vow is one thing, right? Fulfilling it, especially against a guy like Malik Safar, well, that was going to take an unbelievable amount of patience, dedication, and a very different kind of weapon.
Just look at this timeline for a second. We're not talking about a few months or even a year. We're talking about 10 full years, an entire decade where Ayan was gone, studying, preparing himself for one single purpose, to keep the promise he made to his grandfather.
So after a whole decade, he comes back, but he's not the same kid. He returned completely transformed, and his weapon wasn't anger or revenge. It was something he had patiently forged for 10 years, a masterful understanding of the law itself.
And just like that, boom, the first shot is fired. The news rips through town, sending shockwaves, a corruption case against the untouchable Malik Safar. The stage was finally set for the ultimate showdown, right in the one place where truth is supposed to win, a courtroom.
So in court, you've got Malik Zafar, arrogant as ever. He doesn't even recognize the boy whose life he destroyed. He pulls his usual move, intimidation. Do you know who I am? He really thought his power made him untouchable. But then Ayan speaks, and with one calm, powerful sentence, he flips the entire script. In that moment, he revealed that this wasn't just another legal case. This was personal. This was the culmination of a decade-old promise. This was justice, showing up in person.
The confrontation in the courtroom was over. The identities were revealed. Now it was time for the verdict, the fallout, and the fulfillment of that quiet vow made so many years ago.
And Ayan's 10 years of preparation, well, it paid off. The evidence he brought was absolutely overwhelming. There was no way out. Malik Zafar, the man who built an empire on greed and lies, lost everything. Justice was finally served.
But here's the thing. When Ayan faced the now shamed townspeople, he didn't gloat. He gave them a lesson. He explained that his decade-long journey wasn't fueled by hate. This wasn't revenge. It was about patience and hard work, a slow, methodical pursuit of what was right.
And maybe the most powerful moment of all is when he's finally reunited with his grandfather, now frail and old, and Haji Karim just reaffirms that core value he's lived by his whole life. He never wanted revenge. He just wanted the truth to come out.
So yeah, the old shop reopened, but it wasn't just a business anymore, was it? It became a monument. Not a monument to revenge, but to resilience and to the quiet, undeniable power of truth. That new sign on the front? Man, it said it all.
And that's where this story leaves us, with a really powerful question to think about. Ayan was clear. He called it justice, not revenge. But where do you draw that line? It really makes you think about what justice truly is, the incredible strength of patience, and what we're really fighting for when we've been wronged.